Thank you, Petra, for the kind introduction, and thank you so much for having me. Mobility systems are changing, and we will see great examples of this throughout the conference. On ground, we already see that electric vehicles are at a tipping point, with sales numbers strongly increasing. We see digitalization, which is changing the way how we are using mobility solutions. And we see great progress towards autonomy that's being made. Now, we at Rolls-Royce think it's time to bring this into the third dimension. And in this talk, I will show you how Rolls-Royce will be powering urban and regional air mobility. But what is it exactly that I'm talking about here? So let me just start with showing you our definition of what's urban and regional air mobility. Now, if we talk about mobility, air mobility in the urban environment, we think of solutions that will be used for intra-city missions, like connecting city centers to airports. Usually, a trip would be between 20 to 50 kilometers, and such trips would be enabled by electrical vertical takeoff and landing vehicles, so-called eVTOLs. So it's vehicles that have a helicopter-like capability. When we extend the mission length, we will talk about regional air mobility. This could be connecting cities or connecting places which are difficult to reach with other modes of transportation. For instance, if you think about island hopping or connecting the mainland to an island. These trips can be anything to up to maybe 500 kilometers. And these routes will mainly be served by conventional or short takeoff and landing vehicles. So fixed wing aircraft up to around 19 seat. But as well, the already mentioned eVTOLs will have a place in this regional air mobility because we see certain concepts which have an extended range and they can play an important role in this new sort of mobility. For instance, by directly connecting city centers of neighboring metropolitan areas. Now, let me show you some specific examples where Rolls-Royce will be powering new mobility solutions and the use cases which demonstrate the societal and environmental impact of this and what the benefits will be. Now, first, in the eVTOL space, we are in a collaboration with Vertical Aerospace. The Rolls-Royce propulsion technology will power the VAX4 aircraft, which will be capable of carrying 4 passengers at a speed of 200 miles per hour over a distance of up to 120 miles. So you see, this vehicle will actually be not only serving urban routes, but as well shorter regional trips. And what's important to mention is that certification of this aircraft is already planned for 2024. So we are not talking about something far in the future. Now, why do we think eVTOLs are a good solution for the urban environment? You might think, well, we already have helicopters, and you can see certain routes flown by helicopters. But eVTOLs have specific benefits. We see that an eVTOL solution will have lower noise due to the smaller propellers with a lower tip speed, which are the main source for noise. They will have lower operating costs because the propulsion system requires less maintenance and electricity is generally a cheaper fuel. Now, third, last but not least, we see higher safety that we can achieve because distributed electric propulsion can be designed, so the systems can be designed that you have no single point of failure, which is something you have in a conventional helicopter. So these solutions will be a lot safer. And I already touched on different use cases, and particularly I would like to highlight the airport shuttle use case. Now I'm standing here in the Munich office, and for me to get to the airport, the Munich International Airport, it takes around 1.5 hours by train to get there. Now, I certainly would love to have an eVTOL ready to take me there in around 5 to 10 minutes, which is the duration you would need for that distance. And the use case gets even better if you connect city centers with other places that do not have a train connection or usually are reached via highly congested roads. So another example would be a trip from San Francisco to Palo Alto. This is quite often used as an example, and I think it's really good because I've already as well have been stuck in traffic on that route. So it's a really good example. Now, switching from urban air mobility to regional air mobility, it's not all about eVTOLs. We see a great benefit from electrification of fixed wing commuter aircraft for regional air mobility. And we're really happy that in this field, we're in a collaboration with Tecnam, the Italian plane maker, with Widerøe, the largest Nordic regional airline. And together, we're developing the P-World, an all-electric aircraft which will enter into service in 2026, and it will be capable of serving short and medium ranges. It will be capable of carrying 9 people, and it will be powered by a Rolls-Royce electric propulsion system. Now, we know that battery electric aircraft will come with certain limitations in terms of range at the beginning, but we already see great use cases for such an aircraft. So let me show you one. If we look to Norway, Norway is really a lead market for electrification. They are a front runner for electric vehicles on ground, and for aviation, they aim to have a short-haul or short-haul flights electrified by 2040. And they're doing this, for instance, with the state-owned airport operator Avinor, who's strongly pushing for an early introduction of electric commuter aircraft. And we, together with our partners Widerøe and Tecnam, we want to make this happen. And it's really interesting if you look at the current operations of Widerøe. So around 74% of their flights are less than 275 kilometers. And the shortest flights are even just between 7 to 15 minutes. Now, this is, for instance, if you want to fly from the mainland to an island. This is where flying is really attractive. Another example would be if you look at the route from Bergen to Stavanger. This would take up to 5 to 6 hours by car, but only 30 minutes by plane. So it's a highly frequented route. And this is a perfect example where new electric or hybrid electric aircraft can offer a sustainable and at the same time faster mobility option. So overall, we at Rolls-Royce, we want to champion electrification for flight. We have the experience in certification. We know how to develop cutting-edge electrical technology, but we also know that only through collaboration and building out the entire ecosystem, we can achieve our goal. Thank you very much.